slow. Anyway, Friday night 9-ball again. 15 players in, race to 7, handicap tournament, race to 4 on the 1-loss side. Tournament's underway, about 15 minutes, and we've got various matches going at the moment. And we'll see on the bracket the latest scores. Now, the one thing I need to do is to change that refresh to 30 seconds, which we've done. And now let's see what matches we've got here. We've got Romario leading Wink at Me 3-1. Romario's getting the 6-ball. I think that's the 6-ball, or is it the 8-ball? Can't quite see. We've got Gunnit playing Raggedy. It's a 3-2 match at the moment to Gunnit, who's getting the 7-ball. We have Larry playing Censored. Larry is 3-0 up. Censored's getting the 7, 8 and 9. He's getting 7 and out, so he's not getting a chance, or he's not taking his chances. Popman is 1-0 up against Andre Hagus. That seems to be taking quite a while. 15 minutes gone and there's only one rack in it. And then we've got, of course, E Karaoke has a bye. Magic Q is 3-0 up against Preacher. That's a scratch match. Wizard Cheat is 0-0 with Capo. And DJ Redo is trailing 2-0 to Yamaguchi Taru. And DJ Redo is getting the 7 and out. So, let's go to this first match. Romario is 3-1 up against Wink at Me. It should be quite a close match, this. They're pretty well matched up, these players. Wink at Me, you can see, has the bigger rating. And Romario is the type of player that can make use of that handicap. He's getting a 6-ball. And he's at the table at the moment. He's just hooked himself on the 5. Now, Romario doesn't normally jump. He usually kicks. And this time he's kicked it, but he's left the 5 on. So let's see if Wink at Me can take these out. Trailing 3-1, he really needs to. Get my little plug in first. And that's not the one I want. No, it's the one I want. I think it is anyway. Let's try that. So, Wink at Me has managed to take the rack out, so he's still trailing by 1. And remember, Romario has the 6-ball as the extra money ball. 7 balls getting off the break. Well, he does have a bank on the 1. And the 2 does squeeze past the 4. Now let's check my little doodles working. See if we can get it to work anyway. That's working. So, Wink at Me's got ball in hand, and of course his problem in this rack is it's not easy to run because the 6-ball's tied up, which is why he's not playing the 1-ball. He's just trying to 3-foul Romario. Now that could have been dangerous there if Romario had nudged that 8 into the 6 and the 9 there. He could have opened them. He's not done it, so it's still tight. double kiss has done Wink at me a favour. Easy enough to kick the one. Can even just bend the cue ball round the two, but the problem, excuse me, I've got the hiccups now. I was rushing my dinner so I could get to see the tournament. Well, as it is, it's gone safe. But another chance to get good cover here for Wink at me, unless he's going to try the bank. I don't see why though, because the table isn't conducive to a run out. Well, a sort of half-hearted attempt at the bank, but more interested in getting the cue ball safe. And he's got cover, but again, it's an easy enough kick. He needs to get plenty of right English, get in behind it. Oh, now he's, well, I say that he'd almost split them up, but the two's still been blocked by the 4. So again, this table all hinges on the 6 and 9 ball up there. Now, the other thing to be said though is that the 6 does go into that middle pocket. Now, it's going to be difficult to get the cue ball down to the donut here to do that. So let's see if either player can get the split. So Wink at me tried the combo. And Romario again should be looking at cover here. He's going to bank this back towards this bottom rail where the cue ball is. Well, he's missed the edge of the 2. And he got that far too thin. So ball in hand to Wink at me. I say Romario's still got this, he's still got the lifeline of the 6 and the 9 ball. And looking at where the 5 ball is, the 5 ball's in a reasonable position in the table. If you can get on it right, you can certainly get into those 2 balls and split them. Now Romario has a choice. He's looking around, but I think again he's trying to bank this or edge it. Now he's done the thing, he's split them. So that's one way of putting the pressure on Wink at me, because those balls are now open and Wink at me needs to get this safe, and it's not a combo that's sat there between the 2 and the 4. So he's got to get this safe. And I think he might have got lucky. Now let's have a look. Well, Romario will certainly be playing the combo this time. The 2 ball is going to come off the rail and go back out across the table, which is actually saving grace there, because he's, you know, he wasn't guaranteed to get the 3 ball, but the 2's reasonably safe. Can play the reverse bank, but it's much easier to play the safety by sending the 2 up the table. Well, he's went all out for the bank, but again the 3 ball doesn't go past the 4. At least it doesn't on my screen. Let's have a look. No, that's too tight. Surely it doesn't go past. Well, he's got cover, and Romario, if he plays it off the short rail there, or off the side rail, it'd be difficult to cut it in, because the 3 ball was too far along that well, the top rail as we look. So this may well be Wink at me's chance to tie the match up. And there's a result come in. Larry's off and running. Now remember, Larry was given a handicap there to censored, and Larry started off with a bagel. 7-0. So he might be on form tonight, Larry. Now Wink at me has gone too far on the 8 ball. I don't know whether he can try and trickle this in, but the cue ball looks as if it's got to run, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the danger when you start running the cue ball. He's got to go around the angles and come back up for the 9. And how's his luck? Well, that looks okay. Simple enough to cut that in. So we'll get a tied match, 3 racks all. And Romario's biggest problem, as it's always been, is his patience. He just needs to take that bit longer over some shots. Rushes into them, blows hot and cold, and but he's well capable of winning this match, no doubt about that. Now if that doesn't scratch, it looks pretty good. Has he got the cover? No, it's running. It's running. So here's a chance for Romario. Now the problem with this type of shot is that you tend to put too much top in the cue ball and the cue ball doesn't run. And Romario's tried to play that as best he can to let the cue ball run, and that's not a bad outcome. A lot of people try banging the one in and making the cue ball move more by doing that, but in actual fact you're putting too much power into it, and the spin takes the cue ball back towards the bottom rail as we look. Now let's look at the 7 ball. Well, it's not going into that pocket past the 9, so we know it goes into the other pocket. And the question is, can Romario get onto it? Well, he certainly can. He's got a good angle in the 6 to come off the rail and head up that direction. And he's going to scratch. Well, that's a disaster. And that's the only way he could lose this rack there. He put far too much bottom and right on it, and that's what sent it into the pocket. He needed to come off the rail and come over that way. But if you put too much bottom in the cue ball, you send it that way. You put too much force on it and it ends up getting into the pocket. But Wink at Me's got a problem. Same again as the last rack. He's going to have to go around the table. 1, 2, 3, 4 rails. Maybe even 5 rails. He needs to watch he doesn't get too much juice into it. He could get a scratch himself here. And all he's put a lot of draw on it there. And again he's got a high cut, but I would expect him to get that. The 9's off the rail. And so, Wink at Me, I think he was trailing 3-1 if I'm right, and he's now leading by 4 racks to 3. Couple of balls, the 3 and the 4 balls going in. He had no shot in the 1. But again, that's pretty good safety. And Romario's got to get his pace right here. If he gets this too thin on the 1, he's simply going to cut it towards the pocket. And he's got to hope that his pace does him a favour, and it hasn't. And he's managed to find a gap. Well, that's a bad bit of running there for Romario. Oh dear. Well, having said that, Wink at Me's made a hash of the 1 ball, and Romario is still hooked. Now, the obvious way to get to it is going that way. The problem is, he could maybe even come off the 1 and go into the pocket. He probably won't. I think the 1's away from the pocket far enough, but he just has no idea where the 1's going to end up. Well, again, the worst possible outcome. Double kiss, and that's just froze the 1 more or less where it was. So let's see if Wink at Me can take these out. Well, he won't do them doing that. That was not a good shot. He's measuring up the jump cue, I think, here. Yeah, I keep forgetting about handicaps when I'm watching this. That's a great shot. I always get too focused on the lay of the table and I forget who's at the table and who's got the handicap. Well, after that great shot there, wink at me, might have just blown his chance there. So this is important. This is an important visit for Romario to keep himself in with a shout. Well, he's now leaving himself at distance here, and this is not easy. He's got to roll this in, or he's got to push it in and come off the rail. And he's played it well. I keep forgetting it's a 6 ball again. I've forgotten already. Oh, if only I could remember. Romario's got the 6 ball. But that's making good use of it. The fact he only had a couple of balls to pot there. And that's what puts pressure on Wink at Me, given that handicap. If he starts making mistakes towards the business end of the rack, he's got problems. So we're all square again, 4 all. And again, a kick here for Wink at Me. If he gets this full in the face and the 1 ball avoids the 4, he could leave a snooker here for Romario. He might even try to cut this, you don't know. Well, he's cut it, but of course the problem is trying to get to the 3. He had far too much pace on it. Even if that hadn't scratched, that cue ball would have come back up the table and probably back up past the middle pocket. So, ball in hand once again. Mario's drawn back, bottom and left English. Bottom and right, sorry. Push the cue ball up the table. Now, how does he get on this 5? Well, it goes past the 9. But he's hit it too heavy. And even now he's lining up a shot to the pocket, where probably a safety would be the better idea. Well, he's tried to play it in off the 9. And that again might have just given it away. Now there's a result come in. Gunnet has beaten Raggedy in the first round, 7 racks to 4. So this is a delicate weight on this one. Well, again, Wink at Me scratch, so this is just a gift for Romario. Just roll the 6 in, and he's up 5-4. That's what I keep saying about the handicap. You can guarantee that these 2,200 rated players definitely feel the pressure when they know that it's getting to the critical stage of the rack, and they're desperate not to make a mistake. And lo and behold, that's what he did. So Romario doesn't need to worry about the 7. He just needs to worry about getting the 3, 4, 5 and 6 here, and they're all wide open. Now that, has to be said, was weak. And now he's going to leave himself a difficult 5 if he gets the 4, which he hasn't. Is the 4 gone far enough? Yeah, the 4 goes in off the jaw, no problem. But Wink at Me's got to hold this cue ball top end of the table for that 5 into the left middle if he can, or even leave it long into this bottom left. So he's going for the long one, and this is all about weight. It's the same problem we see each week. If you get it too far, well, even then he's missed a 5. So he's played a perfect shot to the 6, but he's forgotten about the 5, and again it's a gift for Romario, although Romario's just gone a wee bit more than he'd like, and he's not even hit it. He's not hit it, and this is what I say about Romario. He will do things and throw away gifts like that. You know, he could have been on the hill there, and he really should have been. Just overhit that slightly, and might have blown his chances. Well, this could be a billiard onto the 9 here off the 7 for Wink at Me. I think that's what he's got to be looking at. The billiard looks a good bet here. If he just lines it up. Off the 7, onto the 9. Oh, he's hit it into the jaw. No prizes for guessing here. Well, that's not a good bank because it's too close to the rail. Yamaguchi Taru is through to the next round. He's beaten DJ Redo. Well, I think Wink at Me's got to play the bank. Again, this isn't a good bank. It's not a good angle. But you feel he's got to go for it. He can't try and get it safe at this angle. Could play it onto the bottom rail. You could send it down to here and onto the bottom rail, and try and get the cue ball back that way. Well, I don't know whether he tried the cut into this bottom right. Once again, now this is a good bank because the 7 balls towards that middle diamond, but he's playing the cut and he's got it this time. So Romario got out of jail there. He really shouldn't have. But now he's on the hill, 6-4 with the break. And he's come up dry. And, well, if I was Wink at Me, I'd be potting the 9. Well, he's flicked a ball there. But I would have been getting rid of that 9 ball and playing a push out. And now he can roll in behind the 4. Well, you know what Romario's going to do now. He's going to look for the angle to kick onto the 1. And if he gets it, full in the face, this match could be all over. Well, he doesn't seem to like the kick up and down. And he's nowhere near it with a 2 cushion. I don't know why he didn't go for the up and down. I think he was worried about the 3 ball, but he had room to get there. So Wink at Me going for the 3 fill. I think there's an edge showing, is it? Let's have a look. No. There is no edge there. He's going to have to masse this. And it needs a delicate one, and he's done it. Let's have a look. Right, well, it'd be unlikely the 7 ball would go in, but he can play a billiard off the 1 onto the 9, but he's not looked at it. I don't know whether Wink at Me took his time there. He could have played the 1, billiarded onto the 9, and the 9 would have knocked the 7 in. Oh, Romario's doing everything he can to throw this rack away. He's now scratched, given ball in hand. Wink at Me's played the billiard onto the 7, and now he's got no shot in the 1. He's just going to try and tuck in behind the 9, I think. And he's got it okay. Easy kick though. It's just a kick and hope. Well, that spin has helped Romario slightly, but it's another bank here. And this time Wink at Me can get behind the 2 up the top end of the table. And he's going to scratch. Got the 1 ball, but scratch, so golden opportunity now for Romario. The problem though is the 4 ball. 4 balls blocked into 2 pockets by the look of it. It doesn't go past the 9, and it doesn't go past the 5, so what's Romario going to try and work out here? Your guess is as good as mine. Oh, I missed that there, whatever happened. Well, Wink at Me's going to line up the combo. Got the pace of that, perfect. Oh dear. And he's throwing all the chances here for Romario. Again, Romario trying to tuck in behind the 9. Well, if he played that as a safe, that hasn't worked out either. He should have just tried to tuck the cue ball in behind the 9. That is a difficult ask to try and pot that 4. But it's again a good bank if you want it. What's this 8 ball doing? Well, he's okay. Well, that is not what he wanted. Don't think he can avoid hitting the 8 ball, and he's now in a heap of trouble here. A really tough cut on the 8, and not only that, he's got to remember to go on this 9 ball. He can certainly draw back for that. Well, that's a good shot. He's going to leave the high cut, or he can go for the bank. Again, it looks a good bank, and there's another result come in. Preacher has beaten Magic Q by 7 racks to 4. And the double bank will work. So we're into rack number 12. 5 ball goes into the top left. And how's his luck? Well, it looks pretty good. I think he's got a shot in the 1. It squeezes past the 7, no problem. 2's in the open. 3's there for the taking, as is the 4, and the 1 just crept in. So this is a break and run here for Wink at Me, staring him in the face. It's all a question of whether he can do it. Well, he's using all of the pockets. They're not going in clean. So here's the important one. And very easy to overhit this and drop behind the 8, the 7. So he's leaving it long. So off the end rail and up there, or he can play it slow and try and spin over here. Well, he's trying to draw behind it, and that's the problem when you start playing delicate shots like that from a distance. And again, Romario, well, surely the 9 ball's actually helping him out there, because that cue ball was scratching. And now he's going to have to, well, he can force it through. It needs to keep running. It looks a good pace. So this match is over. Romario, dare I say it, is going to win the match by 7 racks to 5. So there's a few results came in, and we'll catch up with the bracket and see what's happening. So there's Romario through to a match against Gunnet. We've got Larry, who's already through, of course. He won by 7 racks to 0, and he's waiting on the winner of the Potman Andre Hagus match. And Z Karioka is playing his second round match against Preacher, and Yamaguchi Taru is waiting on the winner of Capo and Wizard Cheat. Now, safe to say that Yama is going to be given a heap of handicap to whoever of these 2 players he gets to play. It'll be 5 and out for them. So I think we're going to go into this Potman Andre Hagus match. We've got Andre breaking off in rack number 8. He's up 4 racks to 3. And player 1 is Popman, who's getting the 8 ball as his extra money ball. Well, an easy safety here for Andre, because there's absolutely no way he's going to run this rack, and he really should look at tying this up. Well, he's went for the 1, but or Popman has, sorry, not Andre. So the 3 balls tied up, so there's no advantage in potting the 1 and 2 unless you really get an angle to get into the 3 and the 6. It's more likely you should be looking for a good safety. Well, this time Andre's hung up the 2, and Popman does have an angle there to get the cue ball up the table. Whether he can run into enough balls and start things moving up there, I don't know. He's going to need a bit of luck. That's tracking good. That's unlucky. A good attempt. And now if he banks that 3 full in the face, the 3's just going to run into the 4. So he needs to be careful. He needs to try and get distance or use those balls for cover up that top end. And that'll do. I think Andre can see the edge of the 3. But he can certainly just bank that out into the table and bring the cue ball down the bottom. Looks an easy enough shot. Just come off there, send the cue ball down here, send the 3 back over there. Well, he's under hit it. He's left it short. Got the cue ball up to where he wanted, but the 3 ball's been hit too weak. And now if Popman can pot the 3 and run into the 9 or the 5, well, he's run into the 9, and that holds him for the 4, and he's actually okay for the 5 as well. Can just run through off the rail. A little bit of right hand English maybe, if he just wants to hold the cue ball slightly, stop it running away. I think he just dropped it in, no problem. So remember, Popman has to get to the 8 ball. Oh dear, that was a bad one. That was poor. He's got away with it though. He's not left anything on. That's not bad. I wonder if Popman fancies jumping the 8 ball. The danger is always putting too much juice into it and bouncing off the table and taking the object ball with you. It's an easy kick, but again, all you can do is kick and hope. Well, he's managed to miss it completely. So Andre, ball in hand. A good chance here to finish off this rack. And he doesn't want to finish on the bottom rail, he needs to leave an angle. And he's left a slight angle. Now the shot I always play here would be just a bit of bottom and right that brings the cue ball back that way and leaves you on the 8, the 7 into the middle. I don't know whether he's too straight to do that. No, he's okay, he's got it right, he's following the line. And now I think the angle's there on the 7 just to drop the 7 in and let the cue ball go through there. And that leaves the easy enough 8. You don't think he needs to force anything, he can run through off the rail if he wants. And that's fine. This should be home and dry for Andre if he just doesn't rush it. He's just got a simple roll in the 9. Again, he's left himself at distance. But in it goes clean, and Andre now leads by 5 racks to 3. Well, a couple of balls have gone in, and Andre's got a shot in the 1 as well. So we've lost the 5 and the 7. And this 1 ball is a bit straight to get the cue ball across for the 2, and that's the problem he's going to have to work out. He could try to create an angle, but the cue ball, if you put right hand English on this and force it, the cue ball's going to go that way. There's a chance it would scratch, and even then it could go around the angles and come out and leave him no shot in the 2. Well, I think he was too straight, he couldn't really do anything with it when you see that shot. And now Potman has the similar shot the other way, but he's got a much better angle. Easy enough to pot the 1. He needs to punch it in though to get the pace in the cue ball to get out and across for the 2. And as long as he avoids the 6, he should be okay. He's managed to do that. Now, this is where his problems start. Now, if you got really well behind that 3, it goes in off the jaw. There's room past the 8 there, but from a high angle it's no good, so he needs to drop that cue ball right on the spot where the 2 is if he can, but it's going to come off the rail slightly. Well, Potman, he said he's had a few buds, I think, and I think that's evidence of it. And he just run through and scratched, but Andre's got the same problem. So I think both players have looked at the 3 and they can see that it does go past the 8, but it's extremely tight. If you end up with a cue ball up here and trying to cut that 3, it's very difficult. The thing is, the 3 goes from that side, and that's what you should be trying to do, because it's easier to get on the 4. Now, he's got ball in hand, so he needs to give himself the right angle. He looks as if he's drawn this, and he's hit that too hard. Well, he's tried to manoeuvre things. I don't know whether you would say he's really improved the situation. Now he's got a nasty cut into the middle, which would hold him on the 4. He could even hook himself behind the 8 here if he's not careful, and he's playing it with draw. That's a good shot. Just to slow up, and that's perfect. Well, cue ball wants to go this way, and as long as he hits it hard enough and get past that 9, he'll be alright. And that's perfect again. And he's got enough of an angle there to force it through. You can just force the cue ball through, comes off there and back down that way. And he's following the line again, more or less. And these are all about touch and pace. You pot the 8, the cue ball's going to want to come that way, so as long as you finish there or there, you've got a shot on it. Need to watch this cue ball doesn't run in off. He's playing it with a bit of drag. So Andre is now sitting waiting on just the one rack, leading by 6 racks to 3 and breaking off on rack number 10. Oh, 5 ball eventually goes in. No shot in the 1, but again a good chance here for a safe. Can send the 1 that way over here, and with a wee bit of help in English can send the cue ball over behind the 8. Just a delicate pace shot here. He should get cover on this, not unless he's trying a highfalutin 1-9 combo. Yeah, well, that's what he went for. Left the 1 on though. Now, is Potman in any fit condition here to do anything? He said he's had a few beers, so maybe not. Where's the cue ball going? Oh well, it's going from bad to worse. Scratches into the middle pocket. Ball in hand for Andre. He's having a look at the 4. So again, the 4 has 2 paths to get to the 4. Well, I should be doing the arrows the other way. The path is there, which is tight, or the path is from there, which is a big angle to get to the 4. So you play into that area there, into here. Well, he's played the narrow angle. He's found it right in the middle of the gap, so he's still okay. And the 6 goes past the 9 as well, I think. Yes, it does. Oops, wrong button. Now he could play it slow and leave the 6 into the right middle. If he plays it slow, cue ball's just coming off there and out to here. That's a bit more delicate than maybe he'd want to attempt. Well, he's playing it slow. And he's sort of in the middle here. He needs to make his mind up exactly what he's going to do. The simple shot to get position is to play the 6 long. He has to play it here because he can hold the cue ball somewhere round about there for the 7. If he's letting it run, he's letting it run, so that's him going and leaving himself a bit more square on the 7, and this can go wrong. Needs to be fully focused on this 7 ball, because if he gets that, he should be home and dry, and he's overcut it by a mile. And that's made things easier for Potman. Provided he gets this 7, he should get the 8 no problem. That's all he needs for the rack. Oh, he's overcut it again. Yeah, I think the beers have well kicked in here for Potman. So Andre, well, that bank to the right hand corner pocket there looks dead on. It looks like he can't miss it. And there's the result come in. Wizard cheat and Capo. And Capo's won by 7 racks to 5. Well, in the end he kind of snatched at that. That was just a smooth bank. Hit it too hard. And it's a lifeline for Potman if he wants to take it. Oh dear, you can't get any closer than that. That's unlucky. Well, this time, Andre, I don't think he'll be making any mistakes. Just feathered the 7 ball in, and he's on the 8. And he's running away again. Needs to get better control of that cue ball. So, Andre tidies up and wins the match by 7 racks to 3. So remember, all these first round losers, they all have their second chance in the one loss side. Oh dear, Andre. That is really poor. I've called the result, Andre. Why you missed the 9, I don't know. And I keep going back over what we've said the last few weeks. Andre definitely shows the nerves in tournaments. He's thinking too much about the shot. And I think Potman was halfway out the door there with his cue stick under his arm. And you know what? That shot there by Andre, he might live to regret that, because he might not win another rack in this match. Potman's still trailing by 6 racks to 4, but you know what they say in these games: if you take liberties, the balls will never forgive you, and things will start going against you. The run of the ball. And I think Potman's having to take a bathroom break with all that beer. That's the only thing that's in Andre's favour. If he's drinking less than what Potman is, he's still got a chance. But I can't believe he missed that 9. Really nervy. Not focused on exactly what he should be doing, getting it lined up. And missing a 9 ball so close as that is really bad. Well, while we're waiting on him coming back, let's have a look at the bracket and see how things are going. Well, we've got Romario, who's up by 4 racks to 1 against Gunnett, who's getting a 6 ball. Larry's still waiting there. Z Karaoke's 2-1 down to Preacher. And Capo is getting 5 and out against Yamaguchi Taru. And it'll be interesting to see how Yama manages to handle that situation. We know he's one of the 2 strongest players in the tournament. It seems to be the 2 strongest players every week. It's Yama and Larry. But any mistakes by Yamaguchi Taru in that match, and Capo will just bang in one of the money balls. Right. So, Andre on the hill, leading by 6-4. How does that look in the 1 ball? Well, you can see it cleanly enough. And Raggedy has taken out Wink at Me. Oh, and that was again not a great shot by Andre. Raggedy won by 4 racks to 1. Two ball goes into the left middle, but it's very tight. And the 3 ball goes past the 7, so if he can get as close as he can. Well, he's went the other way, and he's managed to get a shot. Well, this should be simple enough. Just roll the 2 in, and he's on the 3. But ideally, he wants to have some sort of angle either that way or that way. Now if it's that way, he can bring the cue ball off there. The problem is the 7's going to be in the way to get behind the 4. So he's gone the other side. He missed the 2 though. The same thing for Andre here. He's odds on to get the 2, but he doesn't want to leave himself dead straight in the 3. Now that looks pretty good. If he plays this right, it's a firm stun, and the cue ball goes that way, and it needs to be firm enough, and in the end it was neither. And he didn't get into it with enough juice to miss the 8 ball. He needed to stun it firmer than that to get the cue ball to the bottom rail past the 9. So it's Potman with a chance, presuming the 4 goes past the 8. Yeah, miles of room to get past there. And just needs to pop this in, get the cue ball past the 8. Cue ball just needs to go there. He's got it out. Is he going to be hampered by the 7? I don't think so. Now you play this with a bit of, you don't really need to play it with anything, but he's going to leave himself a longer distance from the 6 if he doesn't. And he's just played it plain ball. Now again with this shot, you've a couple of choices. A little bit of bottom and left, and the cue ball will go that way. If he gets close enough to the rail, he can come off the 7 and finish behind the 8. And I don't know whether he's got the angle to do that here. He's just going to have to roll this in dead weight and leave the 8 across into the left pocket. And that looks reasonably okay. The only problem is he's dead close to the rail. And he needs to stop this cue ball going forward here. The cue ball goes forward, he's going to end up too close to the 9. And if he pots it plain ball, the cue ball's going that way, and he's going to leave himself high in the 9. He's managed to play it pretty much pocket speed. In fact, he didn't need the 9, did he? I forgot he's got the 8 handicap. Right, so Potman still trailing by 1. And remember, Andre had that 9 ball pretty much not quite over the pocket, but let's be honest, most people in their worst day would pot that 9. And like I said, you never know in this game. You miss a chance like that, you might never get another chance. That's the way the game goes sometimes. The Potman has potted the 2 and the 5 in the break, but he's got no shot in the 1, so he's just looking for a push. No prizes for guessing what Andre's going to do here. Not having any of that. And that was a silly push out. Playing it at that pace and snookering your opponent, he's only ever going to put you back in. Oh dear. Well, we've got Andre with ball in hand, and he's just going to line up this 1-9 combo. So there's 2 shots there that Potman's played. Neither of them were any good. And the match is over. And Andre wins it by 7 racks to 5. So we've now got the bracket well underway. And we've got Larry just about to play Andre. We've got Romario leading by 6 racks to 2 against Gunnett. Z Carioca is 2 racks all, 3-2 down. I'll get it right at some point. He's 3-2 up And we have Yamaguchi Taru playing Capo, and Yama's up by 2 racks to 0. So let's see how Yama is doing tonight. We're going to drop in that match. And he's at the table and he's looking to go 3-0 up here. And we all know how these 5 and out handicap matches can turn so quickly. And Romario has finished off his match. He's into round 3 and he's beaten Gunnett by 7 racks to 2. Remember, Yama doesn't have any cues at all. He just uses a house cue, so his break's always going to be a soft break. And Capo just plays a combo, and there you go. It's 3-1 already. Now he's in a dry break. The only thing is, all of these balls are in the open. And you're looking for Yama to run this out. Just needs a little stopper on the cue ball here. Just kill it where the 2 is. Well, maybe it'd have been better if he killed it a bit more. He's actually come back off the 2, and now he's having to play the cut into the middle. And that's a good shot. He's used the 8 ball to hold up for the 4. He might even be able to use the 8 ball again here. Cue ball could go across into the 8 and hold for the 5. Or if he misses it, he needs to go across and out. Well, he's gone back the way. He's going to scratch. And all of a sudden, providing Capo doesn't do something entirely stupid here, we're at 3-2. And that was a bad mistake. I don't think it was the right shot, right shot there for Yama. Now Capo's came up dry. Of course, Yamaguchi Taru should be aware that when you've got balls sitting there like that, Capo will be looking to bang something onto this 8 ball and sink the 6. But how likely is he going to be able to do that? Because if Yama knocks a 2 in and just rolls through, he's got a 3-9 combo. And he'll get this 10 out of 10, you would think. It's fairly well set. Just needs to set that 3 ball directly onto the 9 and it's got to go in. Oh dear, well, maybe I spoke too soon. And if Capo has already had a look at this, he's run the 3 in, he's going to run the 4 onto the 9. Now let's have a quick look at that 6. Oh well, he's made a total hash of that. Did he take time to actually look at those balls? We should be sitting 3 racks all right now. That was not good play. That 6 and 9 were sitting there set. He just had to knock the 4 onto the 9, and the 6 had to drop. There was no other way it couldn't drop. So Yama's made another mistake. How's his luck? Well, it's not good this time, but can Capo get across for this 5? And the answer to that is not really. And if Capo misses this one, which he has done, and leaves a shot on for Yama, well, he might still not be out of this, Capo. This is a tough shot, this. He's going for the thin cut. He's got to surely try and just get this safe. Wizard Cheat has beaten DJ Redo by 4 racks to 3. Well, we're now definitely at 3 racks all. But you just don't know what Capo's going to do when he's at the table. I think Capo's playing with the house cue as well, so both of them are going to have soft breaks. Yama played the push out there. Now here's a prime situation here for Yama. He's got a 1 ball more or less in the pocket. He's got to get onto the 2, and there's a whole stack of money balls sitting there on the table for Capo if Yama makes a mistake. So he's under pressure. And he's now in prime position. He should run out. Needs to get past that 6 ball. Plenty of room there. Doesn't want to leave himself hooked. Well, he's avoided that. And again, he's going to have to do a wee bit of work with the cue ball here so it doesn't run too far to stay on the 6. And he's left himself a wee bit square. Threatening to go out of shape here. And that looks good now. Well, this rack's all but over. Just pop the 7 in. Roll the 8 in. Cue ball's going out there for the 9 into the right middle. So Yama's going to go back into the lead. So that time Capo didn't get a chance. And that's what Yama has to do. He's just got to not make mistakes. Again, Capo's just went for the bank, and Capo's playing into Yama's hands here by not just thinking about proper safety shots, because if you're leaving an open table and you're not putting Yam under pressure that way, then he's just going to pot balls, and he'll do it all day. So Capo has played one shot in this rack. I don't know how many shots he got in the last rack, but I don't think he'll be playing any more shots in this one. The only problem is the 7 ball, which is here, of course. Now it's set there for a combo in the 8, but I don't think he'd want to do that if he can help it. The chances are, though, because the 6 ball's here, there's a strong chance that he's going to be playing the 6 into that pocket and leaving the cue ball here for the 7. And that looks like what it's going to be. So Yama looks as if he's going to have to play this 7 and 8 combo. I mean, it's fairly straight, and there is a good foot of distance between the two, but they're lined up pretty good. But that shot becomes doubly difficult if you end up here trying to play it. If you end up here, you've got to try and get it there and get yourself in line. Let's see what Yamaguchi Taru can do. And how he finishes on this 6, well, that's a total disaster. And a glaring gift for Capo. Well, Yama is making mistakes. Capo's just scratched off the break. He's sunk his 5 ball off the break. Now that being a money ball, it gets respotted. So Yama, ball in hand, 7 balls, really the only one you could say is a slight problem. But other than that, again, he's very high odds that he's going to run out. But look what happened in the last rack. It would be much easier for Yama to win this rack if he played the 7 into that pocket. The reason I'm saying that is if he plays it into this pocket, he's got to hit it with a bit more force, and he doesn't have a lot of force in that house cue, because he's got to get the cue ball out and across for the 7, for the 8. So let's see how he handles this. Well, he's tried to help the situation by nudging the 7 out, and he's done well. That makes it a bit easier. And he's trying to get this 7 as straight as possible, and that is perfect. And now the crucial shot on this 8. And this isn't easy, believe me, with a house cue it is not easy. He can draw up to the right, which looks likely what he's going to do. Well, he's just played a little soft draw, and he's leaving himself at distance. And remember, there's a bigger deflection on this house cue. But he gets a 9 clean. and back into the lead. And Z Karaoke has beaten Preacher by 7 racks to 3. Now, once again, folks, for anybody that's watching, my time restriction means that we've got about another hour and 5 minutes of tonight's tournament to go, and then it's off to Beddy Buys for me, I'm afraid. So Yama hooked on the 1 ball. Now there's the danger ball. 6 ball hanging over the pocket. That's the target ball for Capo. Yama's got the kick. He's left a shot on for Capo, who's missed. He's got to play a good shot here to get on this too. And that's probably about as good as he could do there. Now, how's he going to handle this situation? Because that 4, I think that 4 squeezes past that 6. This is getting to the nitty gritty. Good angle on the 3. Simple enough to come off there and back across. And the 4, I think, will squeeze in past the 6. And then he would just have to roll through and leave the 5. But the path's there. I'm pretty certain he can get the 4 past the 6. Well, Yama doesn't like that and decides we'll let Capo deal with a problem first of all. Oh, Capo's got the kick. He's hit the rail. Now Yama most certainly going to play the billiard off the 3 onto the 6, but where's the 3 ball going to finish up? That's the question. He doesn't know. Well, I'm surprised at that. Now, Yama needs to watch himself here because he's trying to tie Capo up, but this could backfire on him in big time here because Capo's going to start running balls around the table. Now, this time nothing happened, and now it might work out in Yama's favour, but he's still got to deal with the 4 ball. It's the same situation as before. He could actually play the hook shot, which is a surprise, behind A, or again, cue ball back across here. It looks straightforward enough. And that needed to get a bit further over to the left. So all the pressure is on this 4 ball here. Because if it clips the 6, well, I think you can say he didn't go to the, play that shot with a lot of conviction. And Capo's just going to take his chance and knock the balls about. All the pressure's on Yama here to keep things safe. Does he go for the cross double? No, he doesn't. Prefers to keep it tight. And he looks to have played a good one. Again, Capo could smack that cue ball off the end rail, off there, and he's just probably taking half a second to look at what he was doing there before he played that shot. And the only thing is, Yama's got no shot in the 4, would you believe? He's just looking to play the hook again. And just 3 foul Capo. That needs to keep going. Has he done it? Oh, let's have a look. I think he can get to the 4. Well, he didn't get any luck on the safety side of it though. So now Yama can go in for the kill. And just leave yourself on the short side of the 7, roll it in, a little stun on the 8, and hold the cue ball for the 9. So Yamaguchi Taru from Japan, and where's Capo? I think he's Brazil, I think. No, he's Paraguay. Well, I knew it was a South American country, but I just couldn't remember what one. And Capo playing the 1 onto the 6. Didn't get the combo, but he's fluked to 2. And there's another result came in. Wizard Cheat has lost to Gunnet by 4 racks to 1. Now, what does it mean when you get an itchy nose? Because my nose is itchy. Does it mean it's going to rain? So the results in the tourney are coming in thick and fast. Now, while they're padding about here, let's have a look at the bracket. See how things are going. Romario's won his match by 7 racks to 2. He's through to round 3. Meanwhile, Larry's playing Andre Hagus, and Andre's up by 3 racks to 2. Andre getting a 5 ball. See, Karaoke's in round 3, and he's waiting on the winner of this match. So things are moving along quite nicely at the moment. But the tournament's got a long way to go on the 1-loss side. Meanwhile, Yama at the table, a little thin cut in the 3, back across for the 4. Probably going to be a 6-8 combo down that left-hand rail as we look. Well, it most certainly is, because there's no way he's getting on the other side of the 6 from where the 5 is. Oh dear. Well, now, can Capo please take your time? Get ball in hand, leave yourself an angle in the 4, and drop the cue ball over to the left-hand side for the 5. Oh, that's just not acceptable. Really is. I don't believe anybody can be that bad, but not if you're taking your time in what you're doing. And would you believe he's actually hooked Yama on the 4 ball? There's a strong chance that Capo's going to come back to the table and have a shot in the 4. But there's just no knowing what he's going to do. Well, that's a great shot. Yama's played that with a lot of drag on it to take the pace off the cue ball, and got the edge of the 4 and got it safe. Now, this is something where you would want a bit more power, but Yama likes to let the cue ball run. He's now going to be hampered, I think, over that 6 ball. Now, one thing he's done though is he's made the combo a lot easier. He's nudged the 6 onto the rail. Just needs to roll the 5 in. Again, this is just a dead weight shot. Just leave the 6 where the 8 ball is. Finishing a short side of the 7 to come up for the 9. 7 into the right middle. No, he's come back for it in the corner. I think the problem there now, looking at where the 7 is, he wouldn't have had a great angle in the 7 to come back for the 9. That was good thinking, but he's going to have to dig one out here. We know what happens with these shots. This is not easy. But he doesn't miss very many. And it goes. And Yama is through to the next round. He's beaten Capo by 7 racks to 4. So again, we'll quickly have a look at the bracket. We can see that Larry is now tied up with Andre Hagus at 3 racks all. The winner of that match is going to play Romario. So let's go into the match and see how things are doing. Andre at the table. Now Andre, player 2, is getting the 5 ball as his extra money ball. Now that is actually, that's a handicap that's making Andre have to work for it. The 5 ball still in the table though. But I think he's just set up a dead set combo in the 8 here for Larry. Well, is my eyes deceiving me there? I mean, was that not a combo? I'm going to look at it on the stream. I don't know what the hell Larry was trying to do there. I thought that was dead set. Well, I'm still puzzled at that shot. Anyway, all that matters is that Andre's taking his chances and up before he's up 4 racks to 3. That was a strange shot there by Larry. A she-me. Larry plays the edge in the 1. And he's got Andre in trouble. And another results come in. Well, Potman must have sobered up a bit because he's not censored out of this week's tournament on the 1-loss side. He's beaten him by 4 racks to 3. Meanwhile, Andre's missed a kick in the 1. Larry's got the ball in hand. Now, where the cue ball is right now, that's where Larry wants to put it because he wants to be able to get back for the 3. So he wants to be able to play the 2. And if he can, just come back for the 3. Or if not, come down for the 3. So this is a delicate little shot in the 1 just to get the right angle. Well, let's have a look and see what he's got. Well, it's just going to be a straight draw back to more or less where he is now. And this has now become a slight problem. I don't think he can avoid the 4. Yeah, I think he's got problems. He needs a bit of luck here. He's drawn back to try and avoid the 4, but he needs to get this delicate to actually hold, to give himself a shot on it, and that's what he's trying to do. He shouldn't have any problem tucking the 4 away, and it's all about the pace and the cue ball for the 5 now. He could run up and run into that 7. Looking at the angle that he's got, cue ball come off there. Could run up that way. If it runs beyond it, he might have the long 5. Well, he's put a little bottom left to leave him a straight 5. How does that look? Well, it's a bit straight, so he's just going to draw back and kill it. That's a little bit in betweenish because the cue ball's going away from the 8. He's going that way with the cue ball. And he's played it with a little bit of right just to send it back away from the line to give himself a better shot in the 8. I don't think he'll do anything elaborate here, just off the rail and across. I mean, he could come back that way, but that's just giving himself more work to do. So just a simple roll up the rail now. So then we're going to be tied at 4-all. I'm still thinking about that combo shot that Larry had in the 7 and 8, I think it was. I just can't work it out at all. So Larry's broke off. He's potted the 5 in the break. He's going to try and kick the 1 in. And he's missed that. And I think that Andre can see the 1. Let's have a quick look. How does it look from his side? Well, he should have Larry hooked here behind the 9, in all honesty. And you try to kick the 1 onto the rail and kick the 9 in. Yeah, I think he tried something elaborate, but other than that, he's fluked to 1. Got no real shot in the 2. He could thin it. Again, the cue ball is going up and down the table, goodness knows where. So Andre misses the 2. Now again, Larry's attacking instinct kicks in with these sort of shots. You can't see him doing anything else other than going for this. He's played the bank. How's his luck though? It is not good. And this is where it could backfire. You know, Larry just can't. He can't resist going for his shots. He's going to have to jump himself out of this situation. Well, that's a great shot, but once again, he's got no shot in the 4, and now he's in trouble. Because the only thing that's going to save him here, if he misses the 4, or at least gives Andre a chance, is the fact that Andre's extra money ball has gone. So that really means Andre's got to run the table if he's going to win the rack. So Larry's still the favourite here, but he's got to get out of this problem first of all, and he hasn't. Now let's see what Andre can do. And this might be an important rack in this match if Andre can kiss into the 9 if he's going to, and get a shot on the 6. He's managed to avoid the 9. Now this is a test of his nerves, because this is getting to the point where he has to do something to get on this 7. And the shot is loud and clear what to do. You play a firm pot in the 6 and the cue ball off there and out here for the 7. That's the shot. Has he played it hard enough? No, he's nowhere. He needed to be a bit more aggressive with that. You need to hit them firm. And if you overshoot it, if he overshot it, he'd have been over here playing the 7. But not here. And now he's again going to have to read his angle. Once you read it, you commit to it and you go for it 100%. You don't chicken out. You've got to go for your shot. You might get lucky and knock the 8 in at the same time. You never know. but don't go for it half-heartedly. And he's played it well, but again, no shot on the 8. He has a reverse bank. He can bank it back towards himself, bank it there into there, or if he banks it there, it can go there, and he can get the double bank. What's he doing? Is he playing the bank into the middle? And he's overshot it, and he's still in it. Now again, Larry's got an easy enough safety shot, just to send the 8 up there and over to here and the cue ball down there. But will he ever do that? And this looks like a dangerous shot into the corner. He's playing it in there. Cue ball's going to go here, and that's why he had to punch it. Oh dear, Larry. What are you going to do without the flukes? Well, Larry's getting his share of the luck tonight, and he's now into the lead, 5 racks to 4. Well, just to recap, the winner of this match is going to be playing Romario. We've got Z Carioca getting 6 and out against Yamaguchi Taru, and now I feel certain that Z Carioca is going to give Yama a lot more trouble than Capo did, and you can see that at the moment. Z Carioca is 2-1 up, and Romario is waiting for the winner of this match. And there's not a lot happening in the one-loss side until these results come through. Larry sent it into the jaw. And it has to be said, this is a good chance for Andre. If he can just string these 2 or 3 balls together. You need to get into that cue ball here and draw off the 2 and get across for the 3, and he's played that well. Now, this is where he's got a slight problem. The 4 goes, there's plenty of room, but he doesn't want to leave it dead straight, so he's going to have to play this 4 at a slight angle. With this shot, he needs to dig in. You got to dig in a little bit of bottom. Well, he's playing it short. He's managed to get onto the 5. I didn't think he could do that for that angle, but that's all that matters. We're all square, 5 all. And Raggedy has ended Capo's tournament this week. He's beaten him 4-0 on the one-loss side. Andre's got a 1-3 combo to get himself going in this one. And unfortunately, when you play combos like that, you just don't know where the other ball's going, and now he's got himself hooked. There's room to go over the 7. He can certainly jump it. Has he got that butt high enough? I don't think he had. Nope. Didn't have his jump cue high enough to make the angle to get that cue ball up in the air quick enough to go over the 7. So ball in hand to Larry. Well, now Larry's got a wee fiddly one. And he's just going to run through, I think, behind the 5, take it into the left middle is weird looking. Now, has he got the angle? Yes, he has. He can roll through, send that cue ball up towards the 7. I think it will just go that way. And that's pretty good. Little soft draw off the 8. Unless he's got the angle to run through and come off the rail, but it looks to me the soft draw is the better shot. Well, he didn't really get into it much. Just a little fiddly cut again for Larry. And it goes. Larry breaking off in rack number 12. Just needing one more. And there's nothing going. Andre's got no shot. He's got plenty of distance now to get over the 3. Now he can play his jump shot. And provided he doesn't go off the table, he should have a cut on that too. The cue ball come off the rail and come out into the middle of the table somewhere, but he should have a shot in the 2. Well, he's done the wiser move to try and make the pocket bigger using the 2, but now he's got no shot. Ball's not running from this time, just at the critical time he would need it. Now, what does Andre do? Now, if he looks at the 9, he could try and bump that into the 3 and the 7 and try and tie the balls up and play the deliberate foul. So he needs to think about what he's doing here, Andre. He's not going to get to the 2, but he doesn't want to start banging balls around. So he's missed it. And now it's still an open table for Larry. Well, he's scratched anyway, but he might have been better with that shot there. When he was sitting there, he could have tried and tucked the 9 up towards the 7 and 3 and maybe cluster them and make it awkward for Larry. As it is, he's done nothing other than scratch and just given Larry a free shot here. Now, a lot of these players, for some reason, they are convinced that they have to just go for the object ball even though they're severely hooked. And you've sometimes just got to wring your neck in or wind your neck in and decide, well, I ain't going to hit this, and if I don't hit it, I'm leaving an open table. So the better thing to do is to try and tie something up, and he didn't play it. So Larry's straight away here gone out of shape. He can still cut the 5, but remember, Andre has got the 5 as his extra money ball, so Larry can't miss this. So there's pressure on the shot to get it. Because if he misses it, we could be looking at a hill-hill match. And that's an example there to a lot of players where you use your shot clock and take your time till you're happy with the angle that you're reading, and then you go for the shot. So Larry's extension is gone. And now he's got a nice angle to punch the 7 in and go through and up the table. It looks as if he's drawing back though. So this is now leaving him more work to do. And it's the age-old problem for Larry here. He can pot the 8, we know that. The cue ball's going up there. He could stun it in and go that way and come down with the cue ball, but if he overhits it, you don't want to finish down here. That's you in no man's land. He's got to underhit it, and if he leaves it up there, he's fine. He's still got a shot in the 9. Well, he's went around the angles. How's his line? He's left a high one. But Larry doesn't miss many of these. Well, it thought about it, but in it goes. And so Larry has beaten Andre by 7 racks to 5. Andre moves across the 1 loss side. Now, while that's been going on, Yamaguchi Taro's been playing Z Karaoke. Let's move into that match and see how it's shaping up. And Yama is now leading by 4 racks to 2. Z Karaoke getting 6 and out. And Yama taking his time because this isn't an easy one. And he's close to the rail, which is restricting him. And he's really going to have to cut this into the right middle to get pace in the cue ball to come off the bottom there and back up for the 9. And he's played it perfect. So Yama's opening up a comfortable gap here, but as I say, when you're giving Z Karaoke 6 and out, that is a strong handicap. Yama's came up dry again. Z Karaoke has got no shot in the 1, but he's really got to try and tuck this 1 ball away. Well, he's just slammed in there, potted the 2, and lo and behold, he's got a shot in the 1, and he can get to the 3. And he needs a bit of spin in this. And he's left it long. Pushed the 5 to the rail. So Z Karaoke needs the 3, the 4, and that 5, and also the 6 to win the rack. Where's the cue ball going to go this time? It needs to spin. He's still okay. Now this is a tweaky shot. He can pot the 4. He can come off the rail. Doesn't want to finish here though. And he's got the pace on it. Now can he hug this 5 to the rail? Yes, he can. So that's 1 back for Z Karaoke. Oh shit, I forgot he needs a 6 ball. Thought it was 5 and out. Well, that looks a good bank. Well, he slammed it too hard. And commentator's curse. I had given Z Karaoke the rack there. And that might have been his last shot in this rack. That's a crucial mistake. And we're in shutdown mode, guys. The old head's going, the mind's going, the body's in shutdown, and we're heading for bed pretty soon. Well, this needs another good one to get back onto the 9. And it's going to be a long cut. Well, not that bad. Oh, it's just gone in. So Yama's now needing one more. Gets a 2 in the break. He's got half a shot in the 1 ball. Now, what's that angle like? Well, I think he could. I don't know whether he can avoid the 8, but if he can get the cue ball down here, he'll have a shot in the 3 up here. It looks an awkward angle to judge. Yeah. Well, if he'd potted that one, he'd hooked himself in the 3. He's got no jump cue, so he'd have had to kick out the 3. And that's a good shot by Z. Well, yeah, I think it is. Let's see. Z Karaoke looking at the diamonds and looking to pick out his angle to hit this one. He might even pot the one. Oh, that's unlucky. But it's only halfway done. Z Karaoke has got work to do. Well, Z Karaoke. He's looking at a 1-6 combo here. Not confident he's going to run out, so he's going to try and do it the quick way. But it's a big ask to try and get that from this distance. And you might be better to try and draw behind a ball here. Well, I think Z Karaoke could find himself in a bit of trouble in a minute or 2 here. The only difference is, though, that Z Karaoke's got a jump stick. He's got plenty of room to go over the 7. But when you're playing a jump at that distance, the cue ball's bound to go this direction. And he's going to be really lucky if there's any shot in this 3. Well, at least he can see the 3. And again, if he plays this right, he could have Yama tied up. I don't think he has, though. Well, that's not a bad effort. He can certainly hit it, no problem. He can kick right in behind it, but just does not know where the 3's going to end up. It's a full, more or less full ball snooker. There's just a glimpse of an edge appearing there, but nothing much. Well, that isn't bad. He'll be happy with that. And Z Karaoke needs to maybe play this with a bit of right English to try and feather the 3. But it'll be cutting towards the pocket, but he needs to get the cue ball travelling. Well, has that double kiss helped him? It most certainly has, because we know Yama's not going to be jumping. He's just going to have to kick. And this is a crucial hit. I think there'll be no doubt he's going to hit it. Where's it going to end up? It's going to end up open. So a roll in the 3. And he's on the 4. It's all about getting from that 5 to the 6. There's a great big area. Well, how did that end up in a triangle? Great big area around the 6. You can finish there, you can go there, you can go there, you can go there. You can do anything to get on this 6, and that'll do. With this to keep his hopes alive. So in it goes, still trailing by 3 though. So now the match takes on a sort of different flavour, because Z Karaoke knows that if he gets a chance, he's really got to try and get to his money ball if possible, and knowing that if he makes a mistake, that'll be his last shot in the tournament. That could have been his last shot there, because he scratched off the break, ball in hand to Yama, and the only lifeline that has just appeared is that there, the fact that the 4 and the 7's tied up. So that means that Yama's likelihood of breaking up these balls and running out is fairly slim, considering where the 3 ball is. 3 ball sat there. And if he played it from here and drew off the rail, he could get in there and do the split that way. But he's got to get there first. Another way to do it as well, if he finishes this side in the 3, you can go there, there, and down there and hit the split. So he's got 2 ways of getting there, and that's what you've got to be thinking about. Well, other than that, Z Karaoke's going to be given the chance. Well, he'll be glad he didn't nudge into the 4 and the 7 there. Yama's got another chance. Now Yama can take the risk this time. He's got the perfect angle in the 2 to run into these. He'd be very unlucky not to leave the cue ball with still a shot in the 3. He just needs to hit them slightly, and he's done that, and he's on the 3. Now, remember, Yama's got the house cue. Can he get enough power in this to go through the gap and get down here for the 4 without hitting anything up there? And the answer to that is no. But again, he's left a choice. He can play the thin edge and the cue ball back up here and tuck that 4 along the rail, or he could play the reverse bank and send the 4 up to that pocket. But he's going for safety, and that's pretty good. Z Karaoke can hit the 4 straight in the face, and he might be better rolling up to this dead weight so that he doesn't come off the edge of it. And that's what he's trying to do. Is it going to get there? And it's got to hit the rail, and it has, and he'll be happy with that. That was all he could really do to keep things tight. And he might be tucked up here himself in a minute. And that's gone wrong. I think he was too close to that to actually try punching it away. He might get a slight double kiss there. So can Z Karaoke pot the 4 and the 5 and the 6? It looks easy. And he's gone with the wrong angle there, and he's in no man's land, and he's going to have to dig out a good one. Cut the 5 into the top left. Oops. He's missed it by a mile. How's his luck? Not too bad, but I think he's going to be buried behind a 9 in a second or two. Oh yeah. Well, is Yama lining up the bank? What's he doing? He's got the bank. He's sitting pretty on the 6. And this match should be all but over. He's left it way short in the 7. More work to do. And perfect on the 9. So Yamaguchi Taru is sending Z Karaoke over to the 1 lost side, and Yama marches on, and he wins the match by 7 racks to 3. Right, so quick look at the bracket. We can see Romario is leading Larry by 4 racks to 3. That match is still to update, the Yama match. That'll update in a second, which it has. And we'll jump straight into the Larry Romario match. And this looks like it's going to be the last match for me tonight, folks. Larry's leading by 3-1. And Romario is getting 7 and out, which is a generous enough handicap for Romario, because we know he can pot balls. It's whether he can actually hold his head together and take any chances he gets. And there's a chance there, though. Now, needs to get through the gap somehow, and he's managed to avoid the traffic. And that needs to keep running. It needs to keep going. Well, he's still okay, and he'll be leaving himself a long 6 though. Oh dear, Romario. He's rushing at it again and again. That's a little tester. Played it well. These are always slightly nasty. I don't like these shots. Very easy to misread these. Send it to the jaw. Oh, We used all the pocket there, Larry. But he's up by 4-1, but really Romario needs to keep his head here. That wasn't a difficult cut in the 3 into the middle. And Larry's broke off. He's potted about 4 balls in the break. He's got a thin cut in the 1 and the 9 balls hanging over the pocket at the top right. How many's that? He got 4 off the break. The 2 ball, the 5, the 6 and the 7 have all gone. And I don't think Romario's going to get, well, I've tempted fate. Is he going to get a shot? No. Look at where it's finished. And, well, what does Romario do here? Are you going to try and slam into the 4? Is he going to get any luck? No. Well, it's going to be a 4-9 combo. The 4's closer to the rail than the 9 is. And Larry should still expect to get this. And in it goes. So Larry's looking comfortable. Leading by 5 racks to 1. Nothing doing this time. There's good covering balls at that top end of the table. Romario's going all out here for the bank. Can he just roll the 2 in and hold for the 3? I think he can. Now he's in trouble. He's 2 straight in the 3, and he's going to try and spin this to get a shot up on the 4. Of course, the odds in that were fairly slim. Now he should be looking at a safety somewhere, anywhere. That'll do. Larry's, I think, snookered in the 4. He's going to jump it. He's just going to jump and hit it. He doesn't know where it's going to finish. But again, he'll have no complaints there with that one. Now Romario will be looking for as thin an edge as he can get on this 4. Well, he missed it in the way up, hit it in the way back, and all he's done is set it up for Larry. So that's gone awry. Well, Larry's overcooked it, has he? Yeah, it's into a blind pocket. Now, can he do this and avoid a 9? I don't think he can. I think the potting angle means he's going to slam into the 9. He's going to have to ride his luck here. He just doesn't know where the cue ball's going to finish. And he's hit the 9, full in the face, and he's fluked it. That'll do it. Well, we've seen Larry getting 2 bits of luck tonight. And he's getting balls in the break now. And that's never a good sign for anybody. And he's finished with a shot in the 2. Just nudge it in off that 4 into the middle pocket. There's plenty of room. And he can also nudge the 4 away. And he's nudged the 9 in as well. There we go. Match over. Well, Romario blinked and all of a sudden he finds himself on the loser's side. Larry wins by 7 racks to 1. Right. Let's have a final look at the bracket. And we see that Romario, well, that's going to update in a sec. Larry's through to play Yamaguchi Taru. Well, I don't think I can resist watching the start of this match, at least So we've got the two favourites for the tournament, and they're both up against one another, and the match is just about to start. Larry's already in the room raring to go. And where the hell's Yama? Is he in the room as well now? Yes, he is. Let's get in. Now, we might find that Larry's the one getting the handicap here. No, no, there'll be no handicap. It's going to be scratch. Race to 7. Now, what went in? The 7 ball has gone in. Larry's got no shot in the 1. Plenty of balls there for cover though. Oh dear, what's happened there? Well, Larry scratched. Now here's where Yama's an expert. He's got ball in hand. The balls are reasonably good. It's just about getting that cue ball in and around them. And his first problem's getting on the 2, which looks like a straightforward draw into the middle of the table. So the 2 will be at distance. And he's underhit it. Underhit it by quite a margin. He's still got the cut, and the cue ball could run into the 4. He's okay. Now, what does he try and do with the cue ball to at least leave himself a shot to get back for the 5? The 5's only gone in past that 9. And he looks to be okay. I think he can use most of the pocket and get the cue ball off that side rail and back out. A wee bit of left English punch that back towards the 5. So Larry's made the mistake in this first rack, scratched, left an open table. Well, Yama's just gone out of line. He's going to have to play a tough one in the 6 here, cueing right over the 8 ball. He needs to watch the miscue as well. He's going to be okay. He's digging down. Now the cue ball's got to travel. Well, if he stuns it in, cue ball's going there and back up there. If he pots and runs it, cue ball's going that way. Oh, he's quite happy leaving these shots at distance. I mean, this is a long cut. It's not easy. And maybe the pressure of that is beginning to tell. He's missed it, and Larry won't miss this. Larry wasn't thinking he was going to get back to the table there. And so Larry wins the first rack. He's off and running. Right, so the 5 ball's gone in. Larry's got no shot in the 1. He could play a little jabby draw shot and just punch the 1 up the table, get the cue ball down by the 5 and the 6. And that'll do it. So now Yama is under pressure. And I don't know whether the angle's there to hit that 1. He's going to have to hit the back rail with a good bit of English. He needs to watch the miscue on this house cue though. And he's caught the edge of the 1, and I think he's going to end up pretty happy with that result. Now Larry's in trouble. And he's in trouble because if he doesn't get the one safe, you'd expect Yama to run out. This table's wide open. How's Larry's luck? Well, Larry's certainly getting his luck tonight. He's getting his fair share of it. He's left Yama nothing. Well, your guess is as good as mine as to what Yama's trying here. I think he's trying to hit that as thick as he could to try and get it safe, and he's made not a bad effort at it. But Larry can see it, and he can certainly cut it down the rail, and he can certainly get on the 2. But can he do the rest of it? That's running too far. Oh dear. Well, where the hell am I going? Out with the jump stick. It's a long jump over that fort, and I don't think Larry himself is too convinced he can do it. He's going to try and feather the edge of the 2. Oh, he's still persisting with the jump. No, he played the old swerve. Excellent. Well, there's a little bit of running for you. He's still going to have to do something here, though. It's always good when you play a swerve shot and you actually pot the ball. You're not really trying to pot the ball, you're just trying to hit it. This time, Larry's overdone it, cut it to the rail too soon. So now we're in the same situation again. A free visit here for Yama, but this is to tie the match up at 1-1. Once again, he's left himself a nice little angle in the 4. He seems quite happy leaving these high angle cuts. And he's got it. And can easily get this cue ball back over to the left of the 8 ball. And a little draw stop shot here. Take the 9 into the right middle. So, all square, 1 rack all. Soft break from Yama in rack number 3. Nothing's gone in. Larry's got a thinnish cut in the one wrong side of the one though. Now he looks to be preferring the bank because that's the way he can guarantee he can have a shot in the 2. Can he try and stop that cue ball? Ah, he's let it run. And now he's got himself in a hole. So now Larry can either go for the kick and try and hit the 2, or he can try and tie a ball up. He could easily tie the 6 and the 7 up. Oh, he's got a great kick in the 2, but he's scratched. That's unlucky. Now, how's the situation looking up here? Well, the 5 goes. Yama's having a look at the 3. You can see the 5 definitely goes as long as you get either here or here on the 5, or maybe even there for the 5 into the middle. That's the one he's got to worry about. But how the hell does he get to that off the 4? Now this is a difficult shot because of the distance that the cue ball's got to travel to get to the 4, and in order to get himself some sort of shot in the 5, he's got to move this cue ball, so he's lacking the power. Well, he's given himself every chance. I think he can certainly get the potting angle from there, but he's going to need a bit of spin off of this 9 to leave the 6 into the same pocket as the 5. Well, I don't know whether he played that or he didn't, but certainly he's got a really tough shot in the 6. He's left himself way short on it. When it goes, gets a nice little nudge off the 8, back into the heart of the table. And again, wrong side of the 8, cue ball's got to run. And that will do. So it's Yama going to go back into the lead in this race to 7. And this match that is being played at the moment is the hot seat match to see who gets in the final. And of course the loser of this match goes over to the 1 lost side if we can get this bloody bracket to work again. You can see there's still a fair bit to go in this tournament. There's a good hour or so at least left in the tourney, and Larry is at the table and he's going to have to get out of this mess. He's going to have to hit into something here and get a bit of luck. Now the safety shot looks by far the easier shot. And that's what he's done. Yama's full ball snooker. And he needs a good kick. Is he looking to tie things up? Play the deliberate foul? It looks maybe like it. And he's going to go for the kick. And there's another result come in. Andre Hagus has beaten Magi Q in the 1 loss side. 4 racks to 3. Final rack decided on that one. No, I missed that there. I'm going to look at the replay. Yama playing the deliberate foul. Yeah, I think he tried to send that 3 into the bunch there and get a cluster going to tie it up for Larry. So let's see now what Larry's got with ball in hand. Well, in all honesty, there's not a lot doing there for Larry. And so Larry's just going to give Yama a bit more trouble to deal with here. Try and tuck that cue ball in behind the 8 and 9. Well, that's even better. That's in behind the 4. Same thing for Yama. He's now got a better chance to tie balls up. But that'll be him in 2 fouls, remember. And he's scratched, so Yama on 2 fouls. Now Larry's got a shot in the 3, and he can certainly pot the 4. Well, what does he do? Does he go for the 3rd foul? Because we know Yama cannot jump. He doesn't have a jump cue. And if Larry can... It'd be a big risk for Larry to try and go for the run out, for the simple reason that if he plays the 4 and he gets into these balls here, he's still got to get the 5. The 5 sat there, so Larry's far better trying to get the 3 fouls here, and he's again got a great chance of doing it. And that is how to bury somebody. But Yama this time has definitely got to go for the kick off the rail and onto the 4. And he might even scratch in the middle here. This is the danger of this shot. And Yama's tactics might backfire here after all. And there it goes. So Larry using his head and gets the 3 fouls. And he's tied the match up at 2 racks all. And now that would be an example to why a player such as a good a player as Yamaguchi Taru insists on playing without a jump cue, because he would not have been in that situation had he had one. And that's the limitations of just working with the house cue, where you can't play a jump. Or at least it doesn't lend itself to be able to play anything decent as a jump shot. Whereas Larry just comes to the table there, jumps and pops the 1 in. And again, the safety for Larry, bank that 2 back towards the end rail and get the cue ball down here somewhere. Well, again, Larry, I don't know, but he seems to go for these far-fetched banks. He certainly didn't play the safe, and I don't think he played to end up there. He just got lucky. Now Yama's usually got a pretty good read of the angles here. Looking to kick the 2. And that's a good hit. Same again for Larry. He can tuck the 2 along the rail, but this time he has to get cover with the cue ball. Well, it's okay. Yama can see it. Yama's got again a chance. He can bank the 2 back towards the 7 and 9 and take the cue ball down here. Well, he didn't do it. Well, I presume he played the double hit just to punch the cue ball back across, but it's Larry's still in control here. Again, he can play the safety. He can do the same shot I just showed you. He can go off the 2, send the 2 up there, cue ball down here. It's all about using those 2 balls. Again, Larry's went for this bank type shot, and he's ended up in the same place again. He's getting away with it, but I don't think that's the best way to do it, but he's getting away with it. Well, now Larry's got the chance to put Yama in trouble. The only problem Larry's got is he's going to have to try and do that over the 3 ball, and that makes this hitting the 2 a lot more difficult. Larry's going to try and get the edge of the 2, and he's managed to do it, and that needs to slow up. Well, Yama will be able to hit the 2 no problem. And if he can hit this at an angle full in the face, he could leave Larry in trouble, but Larry's got the jump stick. He's hit it, managed to hit that on the way up. Didn't think he could do it. A similar shot for Larry. He can certainly spin off the bottom rail and punch this 2 ball full in the face. Oh, this time he's underhit it though. And meanwhile, Pot Man has been seen off by Romario. Romario beats him by 4 racks to 0. And Romario is waiting on the loser of this match. Well, if he's going to play this with left-hand English, again he's going to leave himself a high cut in the 7. And he's played it well. I don't know whether he's got a low enough angle to just go back up for the 9. He'd probably go that way. And again, perfect. So Yamaguchi Taru, 3 racks to 2 up. Soft break for rack number 6. Oh, that 7 ball just opened up the 1 there. That little nudge in the 2 just cleared the path for the 1. So Larry comes to the table, all the balls are there. He needs to come back off the 1 and avoid the 7. He's going to leave this 2 long, I think. Oh, he's nudged into the 7. He needed a bit more juice in that. And he's still got a thin cut in the 2. And the question is whether he can avoid coming off the end rail and hitting into the 7. He's going to leave an awkward cut in the 3 and not a good angle to get in the 4, and the cue ball's in danger of hitting the 9 here. Well, he's managed to avoid the 7 and now he's in prime position. He can miss the 8, come off the rail and come back out for the 4. Straightforward enough 5, shouldn't be any problems with that. Likewise for the 6, the crucial shot's getting from the 7 across to the 8 without hooking himself behind the 9. So the window for, in fact the window is there for the 8. He could play it there, but that's a bit more awkward. But he doesn't want to finish here. So he needs this angle in the 7. Well, he's got a slight angle. Now he can err on safety and leave this 8 long by coming right up the back end of the table. If he's going the other way, he's got to just hit this dead weight, and he's left it short, and that was always going to be the problem. So now he's got an extremely thin 8, and then he just got to judge the pace to try and get on this 9 or leave the bank, or a thin cut. So it's going to be the bank, and he's going to have to make the bank because it's not set. So this is all about using your judgment and whereabouts on that rail you have to send a 9 ball into to make the bank. And he's got the double, and that'll do, and he's back all square, 3 racks all. And we've lost the 1, the 6, and the 8 off the break. And Larry's got a pretty thin 2, but he's got a great angle to get up for the 3. And the worst thing he would do here is scratching past that 5 ball. How's his luck? Is he going to nudge it? Oh dear. Well, he got on the 3. Well, it's not too bad. And he needs to move the cue ball though to get out into the table to get this shot on the 4. And that'll do. So Larry's looking good in this rack. Of course, the more balls you get in the break in this game, the less work you've got to do. Makes your life a lot easier. Now, I would think that looking at where the 5 ball is, he wants to just roll through a fraction. Well, he's gone the other way, but the idea is the same. You leave some sort of angle in the 7, and he's done that so he can come off the rail and out. And we'll give that to Larry. So Larry goes back into the lead by 4 racks to 3. And this match can go anyway with the standard of the players in it. I mean, anything from a good break, couple of balls going in, like happened in that last rack, and Larry was home and dry. This time he's broke. He's potted the 5 off the break, and he's got no shot in the 1. He can certainly spin around the left-hand side of the 9 and kick into the 1. Now he's looking at he's lining up a long jump, but I think it's easier to play the kick. He's playing the push out. That's interesting. Gamma can play the bank, and that's gone wrong. He didn't play that. It wasn't a great angle for a bank, and Larry, once again, plenty of practice with the jump stick, so I don't see him having any problems with this 1. And he should have a shot in the 2. And that'll do. And Larry's most certainly looking to capitalise with this effort at the table. Again, there's nothing is a problem. There's no any balls here that can cause an issue for him. It's just getting out of line that will cause the problem. And he's still looking good. Little drop down to the 4. It's remember, it's all about the angle, so he doesn't want to finish straight in the 4. He can finish high in the 4. He can finish with the cue ball closer to the bottom rail than the 4. Either of them would do, but dead straight isn't a good option. And he's finished pretty much straight. So now he's going to have to just draw back onto the rail and back across. Plenty of juice on it. But this time, again, he's going to have to work. He's finished straight on the 6. There's a slight angle, but he needs to force this in. And that 9 will not do him any favours. And there he's well out of line now. That's how close a margin it is to right and wrong in this game. All he can see is the edge of the 7, and he's now looking to play the bank and looking for it to go safe, and he's scratched. So you would reckon that Larry's opportunity there has gone down the pan, and Yama will just tidy this up. Well, this match has got Hill written all over it. And I should have been in bed 20 minutes ago. It's now 10:50. 9 balls going to go in with a soft break, and it gets respotted. Remember, it's spot money in this tournament. No golden breaks allowed. That's a good shot. Perfect pace and perfect little angle in the 2, just to draw off the 2 into the middle of the table. Doesn't want to pinch too much of an angle here, but he can certainly get the cue ball out for the 3. And another result from the one loss side. And Gunnett has beaten Andre Hagus by 4 racks to 1. Let's have a quick look, see how that takes shape. I think I got that wrong. I think I said Z Karaoke was waiting in the winner of the match that's playing just now. I was wrong. It was the Andre Hagus match. So Z Karaoke is now playing Gunnett, and he's given him the 7 ball as his extra money ball. Romario's waiting for the winner of that match. Meanwhile, Yama has potted the 5. And now he's got work to do. Is he going to leave the combo, or is he going to draw across to play the 7 from the short side? And he can get across here, I don't know. He could go there and go there. But he can also finish down there. So he's gone in the short side. And how's he played it? He's played it perfect. Well, simple roll in. So Yamaguchi Taru back into the lead. 5-4. And the 1 ball has gone safe to the rail next to the middle pocket, so Larry will just be looking for a push somewhere. Maybe not. think he tried to squeeze that in there. Well, maybe that wasn't the wisest of moves by Larry there. Bit of a risky shot to take against a player of Yamaguchi Taru's quality. He's missed a one and he's left it up. So now it's Larry's chance to see if he can hold himself together and run this rack. But he's going to have to do that by getting from the 1 to the 2. A big bit of action in the cue ball needed here. He's got the draw. Well, I think he's going to just do a stopper in this 2 ball here. He can't really let it run. What's the angle like there? This is awkward. I think he can come off the left. The 4 goes in past the 8, so he's okay. He can come off that cushion to the right and just over to the left. And that'll do as well. He's pretty straight, so he can just roll to the rail. But he needs, again, that little angle, and he's not got a big margin of error here. He could tie himself up behind the 8 if he's not too careful. But he knows he's got to leave that angle, so that's why he's ran through and come out and leaving himself the higher angle. That takes away the problem of hooking himself. Well, he needs to get into this and he needs to overhit it. Get the cue ball up here somewhere for the 8. He needs to keep going. I think he's okay. Let's have a look and see what he's got. Well, he's still slightly the wrong side of the 8, so he's going to draw out into the table. And that's... He couldn't prevent the cue ball from running away from the 8 there, so he's running away from the 9, so he's leaving it slightly longer than he'd like. But it's pretty straight. So here we are again, rack number 11, 5 racks all, Larry breaking off. 5 ball goes in the bottom right. And he's got a shot in the 1. Now, can he avoid the 4 and the 6? Because he'd want to come there and go there and off the rail and out for the 2. Take the 2 into this pocket. So he needs to find that gap. And he's managed to do that. And he's managed to get up the table. So he's got a shot in the 2. It's not an easy one though. And the pace he's going to have to pot this. And I don't know whether he can play this slow enough to hold for the 3 or whether he has to go off both rails. And he's trying it slow enough. The danger's the 7 ball though, isn't it? And look what he's done. And that's why he should have played that more aggressively and come off the rails and went across left and right to come back across for the 3. You know, he should have went that way and then over. Now he's going to have to dig the stick out and play the jump. And in goes the 3. And now he's in a dilemma because the 4 isn't going to bank. 7 and sorry, the 8 and the 9's blocking that pocket. Can he get it safe though? Well, it's safe, provided Yama can't see all of the 4, but you can see all of it. And if he wants to, he can try the reverse bank into this corner pocket as we look, or even into the other one, but he's not even interested. Well, Yama's still left it safe. Larry, sorry. And if Yama's going to leave it safe, he's going to have to cut this past the pocket, and doesn't want to mess around with those jaws there. He could easily catch it and just hang it up for Larry. And he's managed to get it past the pocket. So now, same thing for Larry. He can try and just nudge it along the rail, but he's got to watch that cue ball, because if the 4 finishes off the rail, Yama's going to be left with an option of a bank. Oh well, he's managed to play the cut and got a break of the ball and spun the 9 in. So Larry's on the hill. It's a risky shot to take, but in it goes. And breaking in rack number 12. And the 9 ball's going in, of course, that's going to get respotted. More importantly, though, Larry does have a shot in the 1. Can he avoid hitting any of those balls and finish on the 2? Can he get over here? Or can he come back here? Well, he couldn't do either. Run into the 5. He's left the 1 ball hanging. But the saving grace for Larry is that 2 is nudged onto the rail and the 5 ball's a blocker. Well, Yama didn't take much time over that shot. And has he conceded defeat? Or did he think he had a cast iron safety there and just played it too quickly? As it is, Larry, open table. A roll in the 3 and go the other side of the 9. And he's managed to do that. Now a little draw off the 4. Draw in behind that 5. So no worries so far in this visit. Well, Larry didn't play the draw. Again, I didn't go behind his cue to see what angle he had there, but he's now left himself with a none too easy 5 ball. And again, judging the pace, he's got to come off the rail, and back across. And as it is, he's made a hash of it and got lucky. Well, Larry's had 3 or 4 strokes of luck tonight, and this one has happened at exactly the right time. Yama's got the kick, and he'll be looking to kick and pot this 5 if he reads these diamonds good enough. Well, he's got the hit. How's his luck? Let's see, that's pretty good. We know what Larry's going to do. He can't get the potting angle clean, so he's going to jump. Oh dear. And has he got lucky again? Well, I don't think he'll be too lucky this time. I think Yama can certainly spin into the jaws and cut that 5 in. Well, I did say earlier on that this match had Hill written all over it, and we might still get there. In goes the 6. Well, it's not very often you see Yama make a mistake for pace on his shots. And again, he's got the stun, got the angle, and got a fairly straightforward push in the 9. And we're tied up Hill. And it's Yama breaking off soft break in the 13th and final rack of tonight. And it's now 35 minutes past my bedtime, folks. But I had to stay to see this match. And Yama's come up dry. Larry's got a thin cut in the 1 onto the 4. And in it goes. How's his luck in the 1 though? Is it going to finish this side of it? Yes, it has. He needs to spin out between the 2 and the 8. What's he doing? Is he playing a draw? No, he spun it out. He's left that shot though. And that is a bit of an untidy shot there from Larry. Yama. Sorry, Larry. Oh, he's got the cut. My head's all over the place now. And the 5's done him a favour and left the 3 open. Well, is Larry going to finish off by running out this rack? He's still got his work to do. Oh dear. I spoke too soon. Is the 3 going to finish in the rail? It doesn't matter. Yama's going to cut that. And it's over the pocket. And that could be Larry's last mistake. His luck has maybe run out. But don't forget, Larry's going to get a second bite at the cherry. Remember last week, I think it was last week, Yama had control of the table on the final rack, I think it was, and scratched in the middle pocket. I don't see that happening here though. Yama spun around the corner, left a high angle on the 8, and the 8 is off the rail, and it should be plain sailing to get the cue ball up with a shot in the 9. Well, folks, thanks for those that are watching and have been watching. As Yama finishes off this match, Yama beats Larry by 7 racks to 6. I'm going to bid you a swift good night, and we will see you all again soon.